don't know if this radio actually has a Mox button on it or not. Nope. So I don't think you can actually key this radio up without the microphone. Anyway, my point was, how do you guys feel about ham radios that are unlocked and transmit out of band? I don't know about you, but I like my stuff to be unlocked. At the same time, when I'm buying something, I don't want a radio that's unlocked, because it means that that radio has probably been abused. Let me see here. Alright, so anyway. So this radio, it's never been messed with. Probably doesn't sound good on AM. You probably wouldn't want to use it on CB radio. It'd probably sound really good on channel 38 and stuff like that. So I could see somebody maybe new into ham radio that's coming from CB radio wanting to unlock something like this. I'm surprised how good the band is on here. Go. I mean, I don't know that this would really make a good radio to use on 11 meters, but the one thing you'll notice is a lot of people are off frequency.
I bet it is.
So, my question is, how do you guys feel about it? I mean, I know some people that watch the channel are strictly CB people. I mean, it's a lot of money to spend on a radio to use it on CB without a ham license. And when you want to go and sell a radio to a ham, and they're probably not going to check to see if it's unlocked, but if they knew it was unlocked, they probably wouldn't want it. Because, you know, CB operators have the reputation of just being really hard on stuff, and you know, it's rightfully so. There's a lot of hams that are really, really bad too, but I mean, the only reason I don't unlock everything is because, like, well, we wouldn't want to sell it, and also if it's newer and it has a warranty, Yaesu may not be so happy about it. And if I really need to get on 11 meters, I've got CB radios. I've got a few other ham radios that are unlocked as well if I really needed to. I've got like maybe one or two. But most of my radios are locked. This one's locked. My 3000's locked. My 7300's locked. My 710 is locked. My 1000 is locked. And then there's another thing too. Some people unlock them so they can transmit on other bands like 30 and 60 meters. And the problem is that some of these radios aren't capable of withstanding 100 watts transmit power on these bands, and they burn up the low pass filter boards. So like the 756 Pro is a good example. If you try and use that radio on 5 megahertz, it's trying to use a bandpass filter that's like cutting off that frequency, and it's generating heat, and it's not good, and it doesn't put out full power. Now you take a radio like the 746 Pro, and that one works fine on 5 megahertz because of which bandpass filter it's using. I don't remember which one, but you can, like, you know, turn down the sound and go through the bands, and like you would go like down to that band, and you would tune it until you hear it click. Let's see. Now, so right now we're on the 80 meter bandpass filter. Hold on. So we're probably going to go up. We need to get out of this DSP. We're listening for the click. Wait, we're too low in the band. Well, let's just see where this one clicks. So this is the 160 meter. It's going to have its own filter unit. Should. It should be right below 80. No. That's weird. What the hell? That don't make no sense. On this one, I guess maybe they don't use a relay that makes enough sound. You hear that? Okay. So that's 80. 80 goes all the way up to 4.69. This now, at 4.7, is going to go all the way to 40. It should anyway. Maybe not, because this is a newer radio. It might actually have the 5 megahertz band. Let's just listen and see if we can hear the click. It was really hard to hear. Technically, 5 megahertz should have its own filter, but older radios don't. Wow. No click. So that means 5 megahertz is going to be included in 40. So that means that 5 megahertz and 7 are all in the same band filter. This one's probably fine. But if the click happened somewhere in the middle of 5 megahertz, then there would be a problem. You need it to happen before, usually. You don't want 5 megahertz on 3 to 4 megahertz band. And that's the problem with some of these radios. You unlock them, and now they'll transmit in places where they're not supposed to transmit, and it can ruin the radio. And you'll burn up that filter unit board. So the filter unit is trying to stop frequencies above and below, or above. I'm not sure if it's low pass or high pass. I think it's low pass. So it'll block frequencies below it and allow frequencies above it to go through, or the other way around. I don't know, but I know that certain radios, you can see that it's a problem because you'll go to try and transmit and it won't put out hardly any power. My 756 Pro is unlocked. It will not work on 5 megahertz. It'll put out like 10 or 15 watts. And if you continue to use it like that, you will probably burn it up. Now this radio here isn't going to have that band. It's going to go 3.6 to 7, whatever. Good Lord. I don't think this one will even transmit at 5 something. Yeah. And it might be programmed into if you go into memory. So those are the only 2 reasons to unlock a radio, is the 5 megahertz band and CB radio. Okay, I can't think of any other reason to do that. So if you know a radio is unlocked, do you want to buy it still? I mean, if you're not a CB operator, or you're, completely anti-CB, like a lot of guys are real hateful, would you still buy a radio that was unlocked? Leave your comments down below.